What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology Retold action, sporting in the right side of the map, the blue color, playing as Freyr. It's everyone's favorite Freyr user, Suppe. Superlicious Definitious. Let's go. His opponent today is none other than Tag's very own Recon Punch. No, Recon. I don't know why. I like Dragon Ball Z. It's nostalgic. You know what I mean? Anyways, for those of you wanting to know what this map is, it's a pretty special one. With a tournament coming up, Wrath of the Gods. If you guys haven't already got that in your diary, it's happening this weekend and pushing through all the way to the 26th of December. This is one of the maps that is featured. It's called Land Unknown. What makes this map so good? Or so weird? Or so different? Well, it's because we've got no idea how it's going to spawn. It's unknown. It's lovely. It's wonderful. So we do have a kind of weird Alfheim spawn, yet not really. Lots of hunt. Very open map. Recon's going to be really happy about this one. Suppe's going to be on the fence about this one. He is playing as Freyr. A big open map does mean you get to do a lot of juking shenanigans. The map seems to be quite large here as well, which is going to be a net positive for juking around and trying to have like a movement speed based army rather than the slow speed of that Wadget style that we've been seeing quite a lot. I actually, as we do see a really big relic here, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing Set and Isis players, well, less so Isis, because Isis has still got Bast on her hands, but definitely Set players considering to go for Anubis on a map like this. Nice, open, large map. Getting those Anubites out means you start basically not slowing your army down, because the Anubites are going to move at like about the same speed as the Spearmen. So you're not going to have a slow army. You can go for Anubite spears and have a really, really good time in this thing. Nonetheless, we'll see how the things are going to go. Up on this position, we've got a Dwarven Horseshoes relic. On the bottom of the map, we've got ourselves the Ring of Nibelung. Some really strong relics on this one. And Dwarven Calipers, as well as this one on the front here. Is the... Oh, he's umming. He's umming. He's R-ing. And he is out of here. Shank, shank, shank. Can he get there or not? The Auroch. He's going to get there. He's fighting. He wants the kill. Suppe is microing to his wit's end right now, and he does manage to snipe down the priest before the Auroch is going to be making a run for it. Nice play here from Suppe. Gets the kill. His villager has been idle for quite a while. And I guess whenever you are in this situation as the opposing player to face this, you have to realize that so long as your priest takes damage for longer than, let's just call it 60 seconds, you're basically trading equally. Because that's, well, 100 seconds, right? 60 seconds plus the walking time out here. You're basically trading equally as the priest comes back. And he really wants this Chariots of Sibel relic. Super, super strong. There's a villagers in the main base right now. For Suppe, sitting idly by as he starts to move forward. We've got that Dar and that Ulla in as well. So no surprises here. We've got our little cheeky thing here. For those of you wanting to know where this game came from, these guys are playing some scrims the other day. If you want to check these guys out playing live, I definitely recommend following Suppe. He's streaming quite a lot of his gameplay. And he's an insanely talented player. I know that it's a different experience watching someone, but if you want to get better at the game or you want to enjoy that community that Suppe is building, I definitely recommend checking him out and enjoying that stream there. Recon also streams when he can. He has had some PC problems from what I understand recently, but when he's back, he's definitely going to be getting some streaming action happening and making all the good stuff. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff to happen over the next couple of months, I would say, in the land of Age of Mythology streaming and shenanigans. There's Longhouse coming down for Suppe. This is something that Suppe has said to him. Basically, every single time I've seen him play, without fail, Suppe is like going, I'm just opening Longhouses. Doesn't matter that my opponent is making Axeman. Doesn't matter that my opponent's making Wadgets. Doesn't matter anything like that. He needs his barracks or his Longhouses. He needs those units there as the relic coming back in. He does manage to keep that Dwarven Horseshoes for himself. Pretty important here because now he's going to have access to effectively Thundering Hooves without having to go Freyr and without anything, which does basically mean that if this game ever moves into a portion where the set player goes into full chariots, he's going to have a really, really strong counter in literally anything that he wants to build at that point in terms of cavalry. Jarls, raiding cavalry, Huskar even as well. Not that that really helps, but wow. Recon he is like playing so safe here. He could just facepalm right into this hunt, but he will be noticing this these villagers over here. And if we take a quick look at Soup's perspective for the time being, he's on this position to defend, but he's going to take some damage here. Villagers going idle, going to be retreating away, and right back to the base they go. Draugr down. Draugr down, villagers into the main base. He's still got some chicken on the back there, but Recon's got full map control. Recon has got full map control, and he's going to be spreading these obelisks out all over the place. Part of me feels like when you're playing against this kind of an idea, it behooves you. I'm using weird words that I barely understand the meaning of. It behooves you to send units out and snipe these down. And just clean these up as the game goes along. If you're tracking the army at all, if you ever see it move, send some units the other way, or a unit the other way, and try and snipe down these obelisks. Seems like a really, really important tactic to be implementing. As we see, there we go. We see the army coming out here to try and snipe the priest down, and he does manage to do so, and he does limit that line of sight. However, where's he going to go next is the big question, as Recon is hot on his tail here. The Asgardian Hill Fort going to get dropped down onto this location, and it gets immediately spotted. He will have to retreat back here. What is Soup thinking? He gave away the position there, and that's going to be gone. That is a dead Asgardian Hill Fort, but can he make this fight happen? It looks like the answer is no. The Wadgets are too strong, and he has to retreat back. Asgardian Hill Fort down is a big problem. Now, obviously, he's running out of gold, so he wanted it down. He wanted it through. Units coming down to the other side of the map, going to be sniping down this obelisk. There is a way through onto this gold mine over here as well. Priests are going to be putting back up this obelisk on the top position there. As the army slowly starting to wander around. Walls are a great idea here from Soup. I like that. Very, very nice delays. Moving forward onto this position, he can snipe down this obelisk, but has not spotted it just yet. The army here for Recon going to move back down to the bottom side here. He's still pumping out axemen. He's still pumping out priests. He hasn't seen anything to make him want to do anything else. But the big problem with this is that the thrown axemen do actually counter those axemen. He needs some slingers, which he is going to be getting some. But another... Oh, now we see an armory coming up. And what's the plan here, though? What's the plan here for Soup? Where does he go? Does he come over here? He's got a lot of gold in the bank. He doesn't necessarily need to run to the gold mine straight away. He can sit on food. He can sit on whatever he wants. Is the army going to be bashing away at his gate? Or his wooden wall here, I should say. And the dwarf's just going to say, all right, let's sit on this. Now, one thing here for Soup is he's got to be aware where the army is and move to the other side and be prepared for a shifting sands. So if he can move his dwarves to the top side, force a shifting sands out, then Soup will be able to get a Tempest off, which should be enough for him to kill off the army and get himself into a position where he can get some gold right now. Because at the moment, Recon has got all of the initiative here. He's in the driver's seat, so to speak. But I've seen this matchup enough to know that it ain't over until it's over in this one, because there are a lot of really, really good defensive maneuvers you can make here from the Freyr side of things. As the dwarves, they're going to be moving up to the top side of the map. The army going to be chasing. And the question is the timer going to be enough here? And will Recon get caught out or not? Those are the questions as Aegir just about to hit. The obelisk gets taken down. The shifting sands comes through. This is exactly what our main man Suppe wants use that Ghoul and Bursty to get in here as well. The Hearths are going to be diving straight in onto those Wadgets here in order to take those out. We see the Throw and Axeman going after the Axeman here as well, going to clean them up immediately. The Priest, however, do manage to take out that Rock Giant very, very simply on the back here. The Wadgets will go down. The final Wadget going down as well, and the entirety of the army of Recon gets cleaned up. Recon gets baited into the Suppe madness here. And it's all going to be downhill right now for Recon. Recon's got himself a second town center. He's got himself some economic advantage right now. So Recon, or Suppe, he needs to make something happen in a way immediately. Villagers moving up to the top side of the map, jumping onto those boars up here. He's also got the berry bushes there as well. The villagers on this position also going to be open. There's not any raiding force out for Suppe at the moment. That is the big problem for him, as the Throw and Axemen are going to swing up here looking for something to take out. The villagers grabbing those Aurochs, doing what they can, but obviously Suppe doesn't know that just yet. And now, I mean, one fight, that's not the end of the game. This game, Age of Mythology, does not come down to one fight at the top level all too often. I mean, if you're the set player and the Norse player doesn't find their way onto this gold mine, then sure, then you can lose in one fight. However, if the Norse player gets the gold mine, it's not over. You still have to play a good game to finish this game off here. Recon effectively just traded an army and a god power for a couple of units. I wonder what the kill to loss here is at this moment for that heroic age god power. So in terms of the trades of actual power in the game, it's definitely in favor of Suppe, but Recon's still got some power spikes remaining in this one to make Suppe's life very, very challenging. Walls coming up on the top side. I absolutely love this. Get control of the map. Don't allow any raids in here. We've got that stone wall upgrade in as well. Villagers all over the map here for Recon. Look at how quick he gets those villagers off of that idol. He's going to be looking for a third town center as well as the army of Suppe starting to move down. Lots of axemen, couple of slingers remaining. Wall's going to be getting thrown up. No, he's not going for the town center. Suppe is going for the town center. I love that. If he grabs this town center, this is Ghoul and Bursty here, and he's going to be dropping it. The question is, does Recon know this, or will Recon expect this, is the question. He pulls off the town center. The town center has been spotted. The gold lions here coming through. The heroic age is in right now for Recon, as Suppe doesn't finish the walls up. He's going to have to delete that town center. He's not going to be able to finish that one off, and he will have to retreat back. Meanwhile, into the top position, the gold line going to get sniped down. The army retreats back, and I think Suppe needs to get some great hauls in. I think he absolutely needs to. If you look at this army here, he's going for a hard counter on the infantry. And he did go through net for these, though, so the Throw and Axemen shouldn't be too scared of the slingers. Yes, the slingers are countering them, but yes, it's in favor of the slingers, but it's not like ridiculously in favor of the slingers. It's like maybe 1.5 slinger for one Throw and Axeman or something like that. Whereas once you get that Slings of the Sun, it ends up being like 3 Throw and Axemen per one slinger or something absolutely insane. Nonetheless, third town center coming down now for Suppe onto this position. Up onto the top here, we've got the hill fort coming through for Suppe. He wants to secure this gold mine. The more gold mines, the better. The villagers will be spotting this as they turn around and start shanking, but there's no units up here, so the villagers, they're going to be very much sent packing, as we do see survival equipment has come through as well. So the villagers will be able to live for a little bit longer here, as one villager going down. That hill fort going to be coming back up. If we take a quick look at Suppe's perspective, he's only now getting himself the Great Hall. He's got 29 villagers on wood at the moment. Does he have the upgrades for him? Of course he does. Surely he doesn't. Oh, yeah, there he is. He's playing as Freyr. You've got to get those upgrades in. A couple of axemen coming up to the top to try and deny this town, this hill fort here. But 3 town centers for Suppe. Does he have all town centers? Yeah, he's boosting those up. He's getting himself that fortified town center technology very, very early here, which will delay the villager lead from coming through. As the stone wall's getting broken down, the Berserks here taking the fight. They will be getting sniped down as the Berserks back onto this hill fort. Still 20 seconds away from completion here. We've got that medium cavalry through, but still only the one Great Hall. I think this is going to be his downfall, in all honesty. He's just going for pure infantry here. He needs to make some sort of a switch into raiding cavalry. Those axemen are going to hit like an absolute truck here. I don't hate the throwing axeman as we see a couple of great hauls now coming down, but is this too little, too late? As we see the Ghoul and Bursty coming through, and the army right now will be retreating away, and the Ghoul and Bursty just comes in, going to try and get the damage done. The army of Recon tries to retreat back, but it's not going to be able to get out of there as all of those units do fall down, but the Ghoul and Bursty is now off the table, being forced. Great play from Recon, but now all the power essentially for Soup is gone. He does still have Vidar. Could consider Hell here. It's not a terrible idea, considering you get access to the Fire Giants and all the other good stuff that comes there to deal with a mass infantry ball. But he's a ways away from... Oh, he's not actually. He could buy Mythic Age right now if he wants to. Does he have a market? He doesn't have a market. So more great hauls coming down. Does he have his upgrade? Not just yet. Recon on the other hand here, how's he going? Doesn't have himself Shaft Mine, doesn't have himself Bowsaw, doesn't have himself Irrigation. No economic upgrades and a dream here as the Mythic Age is coming in. As Ghoul and Bursty is now finished up, we see another 2 Hill Forts. Why go for infantry unit or cavalry units to kill off the slingers? There's not that many of them when you could go for Huskar. Well, the reason is you've got to deal with those heavy axemen, which are hitting like a truck. They do 8.3 hack damage per second. Now, this is effectively a hoplite, an unupgraded hoplite right now. And when you think about it like that, you go, would I ever fight an unupgraded hoplite with a cavalry unit? And the answer is yes. If your cavalry unit is heavy, you absolutely dominate that hoplite. So that's the only option here. And I don't hate the idea of Jarls either. In fact, I actually love the idea of getting Jarls. It's much better than raiding cavalry in this situation to deal with those axemen. But Soup, on the other hand, he's now getting himself that Feast of Renown. This is such a big tech. He's got a lot of population to catch up right now. He's getting some Goaty out. He's getting some more units out. But the Horus is coming, and the Tornado is going to be an absolute blow to Soup's army moving forward in this game. As the Goaty slowly starting to push forward, we've got those Rock Giants coming in, using their special ability, taunting the units in. Lots of axemen will be getting taken down, and the plan here from Soup makes so much sense with those Rock Giants. If you taunt the axemen, then there's enough time for those thrown axemen to just take everything out. This army makes perfect sense here for Soup, but Tornado gets dropped down, and all of a sudden, every single throwing axeman gets absolutely annihilated on the front here. The entirety of the army of Soup is now gone, and look at this. He's now starting to queue up units. There's so many units in the queue. He's got himself the more Ghoul and Bursty coming, not Ghoul and Bursty, what do they call Bergreezy, Rock Giants, not even Bull and Gursty. He's got, I can't speak, not even Bergreezy here. He's got that Granite Maul coming in, and this is going to be a challenging position right now for Soup to hold. The Dwarves on this position will get pushed off. He can move over onto this gold mine where there's 3 hill forts. There's also going to be Avengers coming through as the Axemen charging in. Funnily enough, these Goaty are actually decent at taking out the Axemen. 15% pierce versus the 6-ish, 7-ish, 6 pierce damage per second. That's not terrible. It's honestly not terrible to deal with the Axemen. It's such a weird dynamic to say this, that a unit with that low of a pierce output, they're actually really good here against the Axemen. And now, Recon, he's got to get Slingers. Or Chariot Archers here. And it looks like he's going to be opting into Chariot Archers. I like the Chariot Archer a little bit more than the Slinger in this situation. If the Slingers had Slingers of the Sun, no, even then, I think it's a hard one, obviously, as the Avenger coming through. I think that Bone Bow Chariots are a little bit more value than Slings of the Sun, Electron Bullet Slingers in the mid to late game, or from the mid game into the late game. But you do have to have those hill forts up. As now onto this position, Recon, he's trying to make something happen here. We've got that Vidar queued up. He's got Freyr's Gift also coming through as a whole bunch of Berserks are now starting to come in. And Soup has held for the time being, but he is getting raided everywhere as Recon has waited for this moment, for the entirety of the game, for him to unleash his raiding prowess onto Soup's economy here. Soup is not fully walled up. He has not been able to keep these units from getting in here now. He does have that Feast of Renown tech, so the village is going to get healed back up under here as well. He does have himself that survival equipment as well, so the villagers are going to be surviving for just that little bit longer, but the town center on the front here is in trouble. The question is, how much does this matter? Suppe's got so much wood in the bank that he can easily just take those villagers off of wood, chuck them onto this gold mine, would be no problem there. But he's opting into just not doing so. He sells a whole bunch of that wood there as well, it seems, as the Berserk's coming through, sniping down. The Pharaoh does not quite get it. It manages to stay into the town, into the Migdol. There is another Ancestors, the first Ancestor, I don't even know. And Ancestors does get thrown down, but the Berserks are going to be able to defend there quite nicely as the army in the middle here gets pushed back. Recon pushing forward, and finally Vidar starting to come through. He picked this town center. Are you kidding me? This is the most he could get a catapult out and make some serious problems over here as the army pushed back. Bagreezy now in. This is a big help on this position, as half the army going to get removed from the fight, as those Goaty yet again going to be going to town on the Axeman. The Axeman will be taking out those Huskarl nicely, but you have to also remember that Feast of the Renowned tech for that town center. They're healing those units up. These are feeling like Odin units. On top of that, they've also got the Freyr upgrades. The army of Suppe is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger as the camel caravans starting to come out for Recon on this position. Catapult is out, however. This was the risk. He's still going through Vidar on this position here. The raiding cavalry going to charge forward in an attempt to take out this catapult here. It looks like Recon, not paying attention on that one, will indeed lose it. A very low HP. Pharaoh going to get sniped down as well as the army coming up to the top side of the map. Camel riders still going in to take out the villagers over there as well. As more Great Halls going to be coming up. The army swinging up onto this position. The villagers pulling off of the wood line, moving elsewhere. Berserk's going to take out those camel riders to boot there as well. But to me, it's looking like that Mythic Age is going to come through. And honestly, I would just Vidar this. Just temper, just another Migdol stronghold coming through for Recon. One of the big advantages of Set is that he gets 300 gold Migdol. So why not spam them? Has to be the thought process there. But the Axemen getting some great raids in over here. And the big thing that the Axemen have now got is Axe of Vengeance. And for those of you who didn't know, Greatest of the 50 also affects these bad boys. These bad boys move at 4.2 speed right now. They've got bonus HP. They are incredibly strong in the Mythic Age through Horus. I actually didn't even know that affected the Axemen. As now we see the Vidar Inferno coming through. Just wants to take care of this position. Doesn't manage to take out any of the Migdols because they've got themselves some upgrades here, but does get a lot of damage done onto them. Unfortunately, doesn't hit those villagers either. But Inferno is now off the table here. A little bit of an underwhelming Inferno. A lot of fireworks, but not much action. But the gold mines are slowly starting to get taken down as Suppe might need to start thinking about a trade route, and we are seeing units coming in, trying to take out the villagers, trying to take out the Migdols. Maybe a portable ramp here wouldn't go too crazy, but a Bagreezy would be so simple to just send in and take this position out. But this does leave the army up onto the top side here for Recon to push. Recon is still in a good spot. He's now getting himself that Spear of Horus here, which is going to allow him to make spearmen whenever he wants to. In fact, he's going to be going for it now, and that's going to be a counter to those raiding cavalry. I don't think he even needs them at the moment, though, in all honesty. But it's going to be super upgraded units versus super upgraded units really, really shortly. Twilight of the Gods, Fury of the Fallen coming through to boost those human units through into the stratosphere. As the army continues to fight in the middle of the map, Champion Infantry still not in. Champion Cavalry still not in, but it's seconds away from completing in this game as more raiding cavalry coming forward. There's the upgrades on the bottom here. We are seeing these Migdol strongholds. They take a long time to get taken out, and with the Bagreezy in, it's going to be a lot easier. But the priests, they're in position. They know what's coming. The raiding cavalry coming through to take out the villagers. He's got to get over and take those priests out. They do so much damage to the Bagreezy, even with the HP regen from eating this Migdol stronghold. It's just not going to cut it. It's a little bit of an attempt. No, that's nothing there. That's just dead raiding cavalry. I thought he was going for a wall on that spot. Crazy Fafnir just hanging back over onto this position as the catapult's slowly going to take down these hill forts. There is still a gold mine over here and over here, but Suppe's long distance mining from those positions. Suppe's been playing a fantastic game thus far, but hitting that 25th minute of the Recon powerhouse here can be very hard to keep up with a player of his caliber for this long. And we'll see if Suppe can figure this one out. He's down on population. Got so many resources in the bank, though. A full population army is what he needs. A full population army is what he needs to deal with this, as the Axemen managed to cause some problems up here. This hill fort going to be getting taken down. And Suppe is just pumping out everything he possibly can. As that Twilight of the Gods tech, it just takes so long. 2 minutes to come through. 2 minutes to come through. And Suppe waiting here. He's got those raiding cavalry with that boosted speed as well. I do think Jarls are a better shout at this point. Just on the fact they've got more HP. You're not really building the raiding cavalry to take out archers in this point. You're building the raiding cavalry to tank the Axemen. Though I guess it doesn't really matter when you got those thrown Axemen, as Suppe does decide it's time to go here. Chasing those units back. The army of Recon here is sitting idly by on this position, not doing anything, allowing the army of Suppe to just come through and erase everything over here. Towers coming up onto this position as well. Suppe needs some siege or some sort of heavy myth units from Bergrizi, from Ake here to take this position out. You can't make Fafnir, you can't make Draugr. He could also get, what's it called? This upgrade here from the armory, Burning Pitch. Get those Axemen to do something, as the army here for Suppe realizing if he goes after the gold mines, it could go well. There's still gold over on this position, but Recon's already set up a trade route. He's got a decent amount of trade route Deuterinos over here as the army pushing forward onto this position. Berserks getting converted, but those are going to get cut down incredibly quickly by the Axemen, as now the Axemen with 3x bonus versus buildings here, they can charge straight after that town center if they so choose, as the trade route of Recon is now going to get a lot of punishment here. He's got to pick this trade route up and go elsewhere, but in that moment, Suppe says, I can't defend against this, and he decides to tap out. A really solidly executed game here by Recon. I mean, a lot of times, these games come down to like one gold mine. And I don't even know how to describe how Recon gets this win. I mean, this is just a credit to Recon being an insane gamer here. I think Suppe played this impeccably well. Oftentimes I say Suppe doesn't have enough military buildings, but I don't know if this is one of them. Can I move into this perspective? No. I can't select his buildings at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it is 4 longhouses. Yeah, he's only got the 4 longhouses still, so maybe it is. Like, he's got to get. I think the thing is, like, once you get past these positions into this kind of like mid or to early late game, and you've got all your economies set up, it's imperative to just have yourself 10 longhouses, 7, 8 great halls, such that when the time calls for it, you can just spam all the stuff out, and you're just going to get that population in. I think this is the one thing here that I think if Suppe just cleaned that up, I don't know if he's going to be losing with this god very often, because he plays the execution of getting through the weak parts of the Norse versus Egyptian kind of game. He played into perfection in this game. This is a great game to study. I'm sure if you guys followed this Suppe game plan, you will find wins against the Egyptian Wadjet ball of power a lot of the time. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider to follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.